Oh, yeah, my butt hurts.
Well, it hurts to be a fence sitter.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We are honored to be able to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And it's where we get to share techniques, thoughts, tips, tools, and tactics that we all deserve. You, I, everyone, so we can turn our house into home, our families thrive, we live the best life possible, and we build wealth wisely through real estate. We're going to consider, with the current economic conditions, the uncertainty of it all, who is wise to wait to buy or sell?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because we recently had a couple over for dinner. We just met them at a seminar.
Yeah.
And his question was like, are we doomed? Are we in a bubble? Is this thing going to crash? Like, should I wait to buy? Because he didn't think we were at the bottom of the cycle, right? And there are a lot of economic things going on. World events, war, and political issues and elections coming up, right? The U.S. election this year. Ours will probably be next year. What do those things do to the real estate world and the economy? And so he was a little trepidatious, although he was wanting to buy another investment property. He was pretty smart. They bought a duplex they bought a bungalow with a basement apartment that they were able to rent the basement out. And so it's supplementing, and they've been able to store up some more money so that they can buy a second property, right? And his question was, again, are we going to burst? And so I was able to give a robust answer. And so we thought, well, let's do a show on it.
Right. Because it is a real question that not only has this young man asked us, many of our clients are percolating around what is the impact of it all. And what we've discovered as we've looked at it is it's not just about the interest rates.
No, although the rates last week, they did come down another quarter point, which is nice. For those that have variable rates or line of credits, that starts to relieve a little bit. So that's a quarter point last month and a quarter point this month. So, a month and a week ago. So back to back quarter points. So we're down 0.5%. That's significant.
It's a move in the right direction. Mm-hmm. So the question becomes, how much impact is that having on house prices?
Right. And so if you're sitting on the fence, because really that's what this is about, right? Are you sitting on the fence to buy your first house or to maybe move up or change locations, or because you're not sure what's going on, right? We're going to tell you why you should wait.
Like, who should wait?
Yeah, who should wait?
Like, what are the reasons I would want to wait versus want to make a jump now?
Yeah. And before we get into that, I'd like to just kind of dispel or talk to that arena bubble.
Right.
Is there a lack of demand? Because when housing goes down in price, there's only really two reasons. One is population is decreasing. So there's more supply of housing than we need. So the person that is in the unfortunate situation of needing to sell in that market has to lower their price so that it's very attractive for somebody to buy it. We're not in that case. Our population is increasing in Ontario. Our population is increasing in Ottawa. And
well, an interesting piece. Can I just speak to the exact? Sure. The numbers of people are growing significantly that are coming into the country. So we'll just talk about immigration briefly.
Sure.
So for 18 years, we had on either side of 100,000 people immigrating into Canada in a given year. No, in Ontario.
In Ontario.
In Ontario, not Canada, just Ontario. Because we want to keep this not specific to Ottawa, but kind of what impacts the Ottawa market. And Ontario does, given in Ontario, this is one of the bigger cities, not the biggest, but it is the capital. So it has a certain lure and pull. And the last 2 years, coming into the third year now, we are looking at over 200,000 people immigrating in each of those years. So double. Like when you say 100,000 people, does that sound like a lot? Well, it sounds like a fair bit. And when I put it in the context, it's double.
In the last 2 years.
Three years, 21, 22, 23. And we're hedging toward the same thing in 24.
Okay.
That's nuts.
So that's an increase in demand for housing.
Right.
Right.
Another increase in demand for housing is people are staying longer, aging in home rather than moving to a retirement home. Many. What's the percentage?
So I don't know the percentage of people that are staying in home, but we know that people are staying longer. The baby boomers are kind of that 65 plus, right? Or just a little less than 65 plus. But if they're 65 plus, there are 2.8 million in Ontario, right?
Right.
And many of those are staying in home because they're affluent. They can pay to have the lawn cut, the snow removed or whatever. They're just staying longer.
And they're living longer.
Yeah.
Right.
They're
That's
healthier.
the bottom line.
Right.
Healthier.
And then 45 to 64-year-olds are 3.9 million. And now the interesting part is that 25 to 44, there's 4.4 million. Okay. The biggest demographic section is that 25 to 44. And what age do people buy houses?
Well, it used to be when we were younger, it was in their 20s.
Right.
And even 15 years ago, it was still primarily in your 20s. I think it was moving in toward the later 20s rather than the earlier 20s. What were we, 23? So we were on the younger side, but we certainly know a lot of people that bought when they were in their 20s, their first house. And over the last 3 years alone, it's increased because it kept creeping up from 33 to 36 years old is the average first-time buyer. That's the oldest in history that we could find.
Right.
So we're getting older and older before we're able to buy because of all the things we were talking about.
Okay, so let's look at that 4.4 million, right?
Yeah.
If the average age is 36, then probably half of those haven't purchased yet.
Right.
So that's 1.1 million.
Isn't it two?
Oh, sorry, 2.2 million people. Right? And then let's say two people buy together, right? Because normally to afford a house, a lot of times two people are buying together, whether they're married or partners or whatever. So that's down to 1.1. So let's round down to 1 million houses. So there's a demand for 1 million houses. But we're only making 100,000 a year.
New starts. Now, a good thing that's happening, which helps build a little bit of that gap, is there's a number of people that are doing duplex conversions, right? So they're taking their single family home and putting another home in the lower level and basically sharing accommodation.
It's helpful.
And it's minuscule in terms of the benefit, but it's helping. And then also in the backyards now, you can have a carriage house. So we're seeing a little, not a lot of uptake on that, but a little bit. So those are some of the ways of maybe helping solve the problem, but we're short at least 900,000 a year is really the bottom line.
Well, over a period of time, yes. We're short 900,000. So time has flown by. So in the next segment, we'll cover exactly why you should wait or not wait, because we're honored to be positioning you to build wealth wisely through real estate, because it's about much more than just money.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together